Hey everyone, Tony for you here. On the surface, it seems like Persona 4 Arena Ultimax was a game made just for me. I love Shin Megami Tensei and I love fighting games. I'm more of a classic fighting game player like Street Fighter or Tekken, but I can also get down with some anime like Dragon Ball FighterZ or Guilty Gear. I can even get down with a weird visual novel like storytelling coming from a guy who really likes Persona 4 dancing. And that's why it hurts me so much to say that I don't recommend Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I know I'm really late to the party with it being released on Steam quite some time ago, but with the new, and I use this word very lightly, addition of rollback netcode, this video really needed to be made. Full disclosure, I got an early copy of this game from Atlus, and I waited a pretty long time to make this video. I just wanted to wait and make sure they didn't add anything new to the game. And now with the Steam charts looking rough, I don't think they're going to be adding anything new. And I don't mean to be one of those guys that looks at the Steam charts and says, "Le game dead," but it is important. As for the launch, they should teach this in schools as how to not release a fighting game. Nowadays, fighting games pretty much live or die based on how good their online is. Ever since a certain event happened a couple years ago, online events have been the bread and butter of the fighting game community. And for those of you that don't know, any fighting game released nowadays that doesn't have what's called rollback netcode is essentially dead in the water. Unless it has an unbelievably popular IP backing it, like Dragon Ball, or is on the Nintendo Switch. So needless to say, when we found out that Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, a beloved fighting game from way back in the day, was being re-released on Steam, but not with rollback netcode, we were very disappointed. But hey, at least you could try to play online. Maybe you limit your ranked searches to people in your very specific area, or only play in lobbies? Well, no, not really. On launch at least, searching for an online match pretty much had a 50-50 shot of you not connecting to your opponent at all, despite their connection. The games you did connect to were, you guessed it, laggy, bordering on unplayable messes. I've heard of some fixes, but they're all hearsay. Everything from letting the intros play out in the beginning to playing on specific settings. So ranked was a bit of a wash, but at least we have lobbies. We could set up matches on Discord and play with friends, right? Well, no. Actually, somehow they were even more broken than ranked. Finding a lobby at all was incredibly difficult, and finding the lobby you actually were looking for was bordering on impossible. That means if you didn't have a direct invite from a Steam friend, you were completely out of luck. And that's putting aside the actual problems that the lobby system had, like no instant rematching. Great. It was even so bad that if you played the game on full screen and you tried to click the lobby button in the game, it would hard crash. No, I don't know why. Now, I don't claim to know anything about coding or online infrastructure for video games, but I do know that this type of stuff is not normal. After a while though, they did fix it. Kind of. If you right-clicked your game on Steam, clicked Properties, Betas, and entered a very specific line of text, you could fix the online. I don't know why this wasn't just a patch, but hey, at least it's something. Though now that I think about it, it might have done more harm than good since it divided the already low player numbers. Nothing really worked for me, and that lack of good online really killed any will I had in getting better at the game. So after a miserable online ranked experience, and slowly but surely my friends quitting the game, eventually, so did I. I really wanted to love this game, and I really wanted to keep playing, but what's the most important feature of a video game? Being able to play it. At every turn in this game, it felt like it just didn't want to work. Why Atlus thought it was okay to release a game like this, I have no idea. It straight up was broken. No rollback, no crossplay, online that barely worked, and a lobby system that might as well not even be there. To add insult to injury, this game released at $40 Canadian. At least the single player of this fighting game worked, so that's something. But wait, there's still hope. They said at the summertime, they would add rollback netcode. Finally, it would be saved. All of our problems would be gone. A good online. All we had to do was wait for summertime to come. And we waited. This game came out in March, so we had a little bit to go. June came and went, with no rollback. July came and went, with no rollback. August. August was the month they released rollback. And by released, I mean another open beta you had to opt into. At least this time, the console players didn't miss out. They just had an automatic patch. Which makes you wonder why they didn't just do the same for PC, but whatever. At this point, I don't even know why I'm surprised at the decisions Atlus is making with this game. Oh well, at least they fixed the problem. The online works now. Kind of. There was still connectivity problems and the game would still occasionally crash and stutter at random times, but hey, at least you can play online. The date when this will come out of beta, at least now, is currently unknown. Okay, I realize this video is coming across as very negative, but hear me out. After all that, you must be saying to yourself, wow, this guy hates this game. Well, actually, I don't. In fact, I think it's really good. It's extremely easy to understand, making it the perfect pick up and play game with a group of friends. But the deeper you go and the better you get, this game can get quite complex. Each and every character on this roster has their own identity and play completely different. Even though they play completely differently, all of them are actually really fun to play. It's very rare for a fighting game to come out and every single character is extremely fun to play. Except Elizabeth. Conversely, every character is extremely fun to fight against. Figuring out how your opponent puts their own unique spin on the playstyle of their character is a blast. Except Elizabeth. No hate, I just play kanji. Speaking of unique spins, every character in this game is extremely expressive and conveys their RPG counterpart very well. Kanji, my personal main, is a grappler. With grabs in the air, grabs on the ground, and homing aerial dive bombs, no matter where you are, Kanji will get you, and he'll beat you. Mitsuru has her fencing saber and is a spacing lord, quickly able to go in and out of any range and punish any mistake at a moment's notice. And Junpei is a somewhat jokey character with his baseball motif, but he's also a character that requires some of the highest precision in the game, despite not being very good, as a subtle nod to him missing every attack in Persona 3. This game has every track from Persona 3 and 4 alongside its own unique soundtrack, which is good. Like, really good. Some of my favorites being Seeker of the Truth, Naoto's theme, the Junes Hero, Yosuke's theme, and the Wandering Wolf, Akihiko's theme, though all of them are bangers in their own right and would make a great addition to any of your playlists, especially for working out. And you've probably noticed it by now, but the game is drop dead gorgeous. The sprite work of the characters especially is extremely nice. The frequent use of smearing on many of the attacks gives them an incredible sense of weight, not to mention just how fluid they are linking into each other and the little details placed on the characters to give them real heart and soul. Adachi's constant laughing and sadistic moves, Chie's clumsy yet powerful kicks, and every punch of Akihiko's really looking like it hurts. A lot of that weighty feeling can also be attributed to the amazing sound design, with every slash and stab, punch and kick, and bullet sounding incredibly impactful. Sound design might be one of the most overlooked aspects of a fighting game. Every move in this game looks good, feels good, and sounds good, coming together to make one of the most satisfying fighting games I've ever played. The single player, despite what I said about it before, is actually pretty good. It's canon to both games and is a direct continuation to them. You get to see how the cast of Persona 3 is holding up years after their game. Like Junpei becoming a Little League baseball coach and Yukari becoming an actress. The cast of Persona 4 is still in high school, so not much change there. Though on some occasions, you get to see the cast of both games interact with each other, which, while it is fanservice-y, is actually really well done. This game introduces two new characters that were actually very well received. Labris is a very likable robot character with a Boston accent of all things. Her backstory is also kind of heartbreaking. Sho Minazuki was also added with an equally tragic backstory, and while not as likable, he's a quintessential edgelord and makes a great villain. Both of these characters actually tie directly back to the story of Persona 3. It's told in a visual novel style, much like Persona 4 dancing, and while not for everyone, if you can stomach it, it's pretty good. The Persona 4 fighting games were far from cash grabs. They had tons of love and effort put into them, and it really shows. And this is where we come full circle. That was then when the games were released, and this is now on the re-release. With a game that had this much love and effort put into it, a slapdash re-release on Steam and PlayStation seems disrespectful. It's really heartbreaking since this game had so much potential. People were even wondering if a Persona 5 Arena was coming out soon. In hindsight, that seems ridiculous, but that's just how excited we were. Oh well, looks like that dream is gone with the wind. At least we're getting all the Persona games on Steam now, and I really hope Atlus keeps up their PC support. But that wraps up this long, rambly rant. More serious videos coming out on the channel soon, but I really wanted to make this video. I cared a lot about this game on release and had very high hopes for it. Not to mention that Atlus sent me this game. I really hope they don't get upset about how long it took. Or what I said in it. Sorry. Let me know what you think of the Persona 4 Arena games down below, and also how Atlus handled the re-release. I know I'm not the only one who cared a lot about this game. As always, special thanks to Anton, Big T, Frankie Stoned, Jim Taylor, Just a Middleman, Konyuna, Matt M, Mega X454, Mr. 8 Eyes, The Toaster Messiah, Video Gamer 75, and many more for supporting the channel on Patreon. If you'd like to support, check the link in the description below. Thanks for listening to me talk about the state of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and I'll see you in the next Tony for you. Have a good one.